out for every man, woman, and child.
What's up with America's young people? Weirdly, Bernie Sanders' big crowds are not made up of people his age. Maybe they've gotten smarter. It's mostly young people. Somehow, socialism, a system that's led to misery all over the world, appeals to young people. Didn't they notice that just south of our border, socialist policies have been tried again and again, and they all led to more poverty? A slight ray of good news is that after experiencing socialist misery, some young people in Latin America have figured out that socialism is not a good thing.
El primer parlamento iberoamericano son bastante grandes y la
I don't
propuesta
know
que yo
exactly
quiero
what this young woman is saying. I don't speak Spanish, but I do know that she has a following. This speech was watched more than 7 million times. The speaker is Gloria Alvarez, and she joins us now. So you're talking to people in Latin America about markets.
Yes. The importance of markets and individual rights, life, liberty, and private property, which are the most violated rights in all of our continent.
And people want to hear this?
Yeah, because they are getting sick of what they have seen, especially Venezuela, Argentina, Brazil, Bolivia, Ecuador, the countries that have actually implemented socialism of the 21st century.
Well, you named a few, but I was looking at a list. It's just about all of them have tried it at some point in Latin America.
Yes.
And the most recent socialist failure is Venezuela. This guy, his predecessor, said socialism would lift up the poor. Instead, socialists took Venezuela from relative poverty to extreme poverty and riots.
More street protests, which have already left 42 people dead in Venezuela. Despite having the world's largest oil reserves, Venezuelans face a near impossible daily task of finding milk, chicken, or toilet paper in stores.
You took some of your own pictures showing empty stores.
Yeah, I went undercover in a supermarket. The lines are infinite, and when you get in, there's nothing to buy, even if you have the card.
The president of Venezuela says the cause of the shortages in the stores is greedy capitalists hoarding food. So here, he tells people in the grocery store he has the solution. He'll force all stores to install high-tech fingerprint scanners and limit the amount any one person can buy.
Yeah, this is already being implemented. Actually, there's military forces outside the supermarket checking that you don't take more of what you are allowed to take.
So this is socialism. The government creates a problem, shortages, and then they're going to fix it by spending huge amounts on fingerprint scanners.
It's that in Latin America, we still don't understand how economic works. And we have seen Cuba fail, and it should be enough to see Cuba failing. But then you have people who say, yeah, but in Cuba you don't have freedom, but you have kids that go to school for free, no one is dying of hunger, so it's a good system. Even though you have prostitutes that go to bed with someone for a toothpaste or something like that, that doesn't matter. Or the fact that they cannot get out. And since we don't know history, because Latin Americans are oblivious to what happened in the Soviet Union, in China, in all these countries.
So we're North Americans.
I think so, yeah. With Bernie Sanders, it's like, if you guys elect that guy, it's going to be Chavez for you.
So how did you learn this?
Well, I learned this because in my family, I have a Cuban history. My grandparents and my dad told me about communism. I studied in a libertarian university, Universidad Francesa.
There's one in Latin America, UFM it's called.
Yes, UFM, and it has the von Mises Library, the Hayek Auditorium, the Milton Friedman Auditorium.
Okay.
Very unusual. And of course, the first thing they teach you is Marx and socialism. One of the first books I read was George Orwell, Animal Farm. One thing is what your parents tell you, but another thing is you contrasting those ideas with reality.
You told me you read this thing?
I did, because I worked on radio, I worked on journalism, and in your book I found, like, I don't know, inspiration to continue with these ideas.
To get a lot of hostile pushback?
Every country I go to, all these trolls that the government has start insulting you in the internet, in Facebook, on Twitter. And before this video came out, I was not known in all Latin America, because the proposal of that speech was, let's dismantle populism using technology. Let's use Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp to say the reality about what's going on. Let's film how the supermarkets are, how people are dying.
You equate populism and socialism.
Yes, because populism is a way of manipulation. It's a psychological manipulation, especially of people who have not a good education and who have immediate needs. And what you do is you satisfy those needs by giving food or giving medicines, as long as there's money. But then when you start nationalizing and expropriating, then you finish with the sources of productivity in your country, and then the money is running out.
Thank you, Gloria Alvarez. I wish you luck convincing them. Next, since there are socialists and there are capitalists, which one is he?